Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Everything EPL, your one stop for the week recap of Premier League. I'm Mo, your host. I'm here with my co host, my brilliant friend, Kaeman. How are you today, my friend?
I'm good. Now you call me brilliant. Wow, I didn't know we were throwing out compliments this early. No, it's great to be here, man. Always a pleasure whenever you have me
Dude,
on. I appreciate it.
it's we're recording on Sunday evening here, and after Dean Smith got fired, Daniel Farke from Norwich got
Yeah.
fired, so um I don't know yet who they're gonna put as a manager. We know that Newcastle is Eddie Howe is gonna be the new manager. He was in the stands. We know Conte is a new manager for Spurs. He managed the first Premier League game today. We know Solskjaer is still gonna be their coach. That's what they said until the Watford game. Is a lot of managerial change. 4 changes already, actually 5, including Ranieri being Watford now after Cisco got fired. So how many are these? Nuno, Dean Smith,
Yeah.
Daniel Farke, and who else? Cisco got fired. That's 4?
Yeah.
Uh, 4 managers until now. Am I missing anybody else?
I don't believe so.
So 4 managers, and we are in week, I think, 12, 13 games played. It's kind of crazy. Assuming that maybe Solskjaer will be gone. Oh, we forgot Steve Bruce from Newcastle. So 5
Yeah,
managers.
right, Steve Bruce. Well,
5
Steve
managers.
Bruce wasn't sacked as much as he walked away, right?
Mm. Mutual agreement. They
Right.
always say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mutual
Yeah.
agreement.
Right.
That's what they
Right.
say. Um, Crazy results. Liverpool got their first loss of the season, if
Yeah.
I believe. It's a great game,
Some
thriller.
controversial moments.
Yes, but still. But hey, one place to start is the Manchester Derby.
Mhm.
Man United nil, Man City 2. Cayman, I'm gonna tell you a statement that I think sometimes they say, and it happened in 2 games this week. But one game at the end changed. It's they say sometimes the score does not reflect how the game went.
Mhm.
And this game is exactly that. The score does not reflect how the game. This game was a domination by Man City.
Yeah, I agree.
It's pressure after pressure after pressure, across after across from City until I think they didn't take their foot off the gas, but I don't think they tried as hard as they should have to just demolish Man United.
Yeah.
So why do you think Man City did not do what Liverpool did?
Yeah, I think part of it is how patient the game Man City plays is. So they're fine with like just keeping this possession and just building around. I also don't think they have as clinical of finishers as we have with City. I mean, Mo Salah is going crazy. Jota had that hell of a game, you know what I mean? Whenever
Yeah.
they beat them 5-0. So I think that game was exceptional, but I think, I mean, Man U's lucky to not get beat 4-0 here, right? Like they were just getting dominated. I think they recorded 2 touches in the opposition's box and 1 shot on target the entire game. And, you know, in a Manchester derby, that's not what you want. But I'm curious to see what you think. Why do you think City's not scoring more goals against them?
I think City just the game was too, sometimes when the other team is just trying, you feel like I need to score more to kill off this game.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, that the City players felt that there was no resistance. It was just surrender. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can have the ball. We're not even gonna try. They tried, but it was just they had one chance, that Ronaldo volley in the I think the first half.
Yeah,
That was the
yeah,
only chance. But other than this, I don't feel like the Man United players actually tried to do anything. It was just surrender.
mm-hmm.
But I want to ask you. I'm gonna ask you a question back.
Sure.
The second goal. Do you think it's Luke Shaw and Maguire's fault,
Yeah.
or it was De Gea's fault?
No, man, it's Luke Shaw and Maguire. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think De Gea could do better there. But it's hard to demand too much more from the guy. I mean, he was having a hell of a day considering the scoreline, right?
He kept them 2-0, yes, of course.
Yeah. But I mean, Luke Shaw is terrible there. You know, you have no clue if there's a guy behind you or not. You clear that out. Maguire's not telling him anything, and he's looking directly at where it is. You know what I mean? So, like, Bernardo Silva should never be able to get a touch on that ball. And at that point, De Gea's got so little time to react. I think it's really hard to say that that's De Gea's fault, you know?
And some people said it was De Gea's fault because it went near post. But in my opinion, the goalkeeper is moving from a side to a side, and then now you're asking him to cover. Yes, he should cover near post, but how come two defenders are not trying to clear the ball? Someone shout man on, someone shout anything. And it was just strange to me that two international players, and I'm going to say it, and I said it on Twitter, it's very strange that these international players are performing for England, for Sweden, Lindelof. It's Cristiano Ronaldo's performing good for Man United, but he's phenomenal for Portugal, right? Bruno Fernandes is phenomenal. Pogba is phenomenal. Yeah. I think these players are not coached well in terms of club level, and this is why I think these players deserve better manager. To be honest, they deserve a better manager. They deserve a Conte. They deserve a Tuchel. They deserve a Klopp. They deserve even a Zidane. But to give them Solskjaer is unfair. What do you think about that?
He just made it's not even that, like, I think the positional decision making was the worst, but to put Bruno Fernandes in a midfield trio where he's expected to defend, I mean, you're asking for disaster, right? And you have a player like Donny van de Beek sitting on your bench, and like maybe you're not arguing. There's arguments he's not good enough. Fair enough, but like if there's a game for you to try starting him, this is the game. You know what I mean? Or you don't play that formation. So there's just bad decisions that you can really only give to the manager. You know what I mean? And you've got someone up top who's not going to defend that much, which is fine. He's a great goal scorer. He's going to score goals for you. Build your team around that. Do a forward too, like you did with him and Cavani. You know what I mean? And it's I mean, it's exactly what you said. I don't think he's been good enough, especially for the quality that Manchester United have. But as an Arsenal fan, I hope he continues. And has the
because
form.
It's your chance to make top 4 now.
Yeah, absolutely.
If someone dropped, right? Like, but there's one more tactical thing that I saw in this game, and I want to talk about it, to be honest. How City team is a very open book. Guardiola is an open book. It's a 4-3-3 straight with a false 9, and Gundogan is going to the 18 more often than everyone else on the team.
Right.
So hear me out. Why was Solskjaer playing 5 in the back, like 3 and 2 wing back? It's very straightforward. One of the two central defender, Mark, Bernardo, or whoever, or Foden, or somebody that plays forward, and the other one sweeps, but it didn't match. This is why they were outnumbered on the wing all the time. Like Cancelo and Foden outnumbered Wan-Bissaka on the left, and on the other side it was Walker or De Bruyne along with Jesus. It didn't make any sense to me. That why are you playing 3 in the back? Why do you think what was the point? Is it more defensively?
I think it's because he got his team smashed playing 4 in the back, 5-0 by Liverpool, and they've had moderate success with 5 in the back.
And so that's the only reason he went for that.
I really think it's as simple as that. I think maybe there's an argument that he can push his outside backs in a 5 back to put pressure on their wide players a little bit easier without being fearful about giving pockets in the middle. But we saw that wasn't the case, and that did not help them in any way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
So I wish I could give you better reasoning, but I think it's as simple as that.
Let me ask you something. Is Man United, what are their chances of making, if they continue with Solskjaer, what are their chances of making top 4?
I think they can still do it. I mean, I think we're forgetting that they've had a string of some of the hardest teams they're going to play all season, right?
Yeah.
Like Liverpool City. Are we really expecting them to be winning those games with the Solskjaer? You know what I mean? Like so should they be able to win those games or at least challenge? Like, absolutely, you hope so, but clearly that's not the case. I think we're still going to see them be successful against these lower level teams, like we saw at the beginning of the season, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh, it's fine again. Oh, Man U's great." So I think that's where we're at. I don't know. What do you think?
I think their chances, if they stick to Solskjaer, their chances, based on what the performances I see from someone like a team like West Ham, and also Antonio Conte. I know that it was his first game today, but this guy's a winner, and he's gonna make Spurs better every game. And Arsenal are playing, to be honest, controversial win today, but again, the game does not reflect what actually happened. Arsenal dominated the game, and we're going to talk about them later. The Arsenal dominated the whole game, and it should have been 3. The chances after chances after chances, like it is. So that's the way the Arsenal play now. Antonio Conte's effect, David Moyes and West Ham, which is what we're going to talk about it now. They're better teams than them, and they can do better. The coaching is a big deal. David Moyes, Antonio Conte, these coaches are better coaches than him, than Solskjaer. And I think they have better chances of making top 4, along with Arsenal, who are, Arteta is finding out his formation, he's finding out how to play, and it's working. So talking about West Ham, an absolutely a cracker of a game. West Ham, Liverpool. West Ham won 3-2. They were amazing on the counter, West Ham.
Yeah.
And on set pieces, they won every set piece.
For sure, yeah.
This game. Do you think that first West Ham goal was a foul on Alisson?
I think you're right to ask questions about it. I think Ogbonna's arm goes higher than it probably should. It's definitely unnatural. That being said, I don't think it's a foul. I don't think he directly impedes Alisson in any meaningful way. There's no contact with his arm on the ball. So I think Alisson just needs to do better. That being said, I think it's not as straightforward. I mean, I feel like you're right to ask questions there if you're a Liverpool fan. What did you think? Did you think it was a foul?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Ogbonna is jumping straight up. He's not jumping back.
Yeah.
He did not touch Alisson. Alisson just bumped into him.
Right, yeah.
If Alisson jumps up, he would have got the ball. Alisson just went straight to his back.
Yeah.
And did the ball touch Ogbonna?
No.
Did the ball touch his arm? No.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're asking. We're asking questions about, did he impede Alisson from getting the ball? Yes, but he did not go tackle him. He did not go challenge him at all. It's Alisson who just jumped into him. Yeah. And Ogbonna did not do anything bad. That's what I think.
I do think as of recently, the league's shown a tendency to almost overprotect the goalkeepers. So in that sense, I think if they would have called the foul there, it would have been pretty consistent with that. But I'm glad they didn't. And the way I lean is that
I don't think Ogbonna did anything wrong there.
Did you think that the Cresswell challenge was a red card?
No,
I didn't either.
I don't think so. It's an orange card, as the referees say, but it's not. I'm sorry, it's not a straight red. It was going to be too harsh.
Yeah,
this is not a straight red.
He's going for the ball. His foot bounces off the ball. He's not going to the ball with his studs either. So
yes,
to me, it's just like an unfortunate. It's like it'd be a harsh yellow. Honestly, like if you'd even call it that, there's like no conversation about it right at all. Yeah,
absolutely. But hats off to Moyes, who his team was very compact. Their first chance that Liverpool got was the free kick. It's a brilliant free kick from Alexander-Arnold, like to tie the game. It was absolutely phenomenal. So tell me, this West Ham team is very adaptable to big teams, and this is something that we noticed. This is that they play big teams, they can defend, and here on the counter they have Bowen,
Mhm.
Michael Antonio, who's one of my favorite players in this league. Antonio is freaking phenomenal, the guy. Uh, it's I'm happy to see David Moyes succeed. You know, I was
Mhm.
one of the people that actually said this guy is a loser. His career is tanked with what he did with Man United, and I
Right.
think he went to Sociedad, and I think it was just done for him. But to see him smile and succeed is just a joy for every football fan. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I love the style of football that he plays because it's not quite the Burnley level of just being the Air Force, but it's a nice, like, aggressive, direct football. And to me, it's almost like there's this rock paper scissors that exists in the league right now between Man City, Liverpool, and West Ham, where Liverpool tends to get the upper hand on Man City with how high they press, but Liverpool gets dominated by how direct West Ham is because of how high their press is and how they send
Yeah,
people. So I love, like, this dynamic that we've got in the league now, where there's all these different philosophies just clashing, and to be
yeah,
able to see that, like, week in, week out, like, I love what David Moyes has done. I mean, like, it's so much fun to watch.
yeah. I think West Ham are. I think they play better football than some of Chelsea's games because
Yeah.
at least West Ham are consistent. And I know that you're an Arsenal fan, but I
Hmm.
would dare to say that West Ham is the second best team in London after Chelsea, no doubt.
I think they've been better than us this season for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think so. West Ham ends the week at the third. Do you think they can stay there, third, fourth, until the end of the season?
This is the problem we had with West Ham last year. Is I with them playing Europe, I'm worried for them to be, if if Michael Antonio gets injured, if you have a couple of injuries, if Declan Rice gets injured, or someone else in the middle, like one of their key players, I think they struggle to deal with that. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
it's yeah,
And I
absolutely.
and I think if that happens, then I think it's going to be tough for them. And I don't think any other club in the league really has. I mean, any of these top clubs have the same kind of problem. You know what I mean? Like, you look, Laporte gets a stupid red card last week. It's like, okay, I'll play John Stones. You know what I mean? Like there's no this problem
No, but
doesn't.
hold on. Today, Dawson came in for Ogbonna, and
Right, right. And Dawson
they
played
can
very
do
well.
it. They
Yeah.
have Masuaku for Cresswell.
Hmm.
They have
Hmm.
like it's a. I think they have the team to do it. I think they are not.
I
It's
think they're
not bad
good.
at
They're very
all.
good. I just don't think they're deep enough in some of their key areas. Like, who do you
Especially, I
replace?
think the midfield is their weakest. Like, if Declan Rice and Suchek, one of
Yeah,
them gets injured, I don't think Mark Noble is the guy that will get you top four. You know, like it's just.
yeah.
I think they are covered. Probably the two places that they're not covered at is the center forward and one of the two defensive midfielders.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair.
Let's talk
I do
about
think I
Liverpool
would
a
stick
little
with
as
Dawson
well
there.
because I think we're talking about West Ham.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
talk about
Yeah.
Liverpool today. They actually created some chances to tie the game at the end.
Yeah.
Origi, Mane missed a clear header at the end from that free
Oh,
kick.
dude.
But I think they are 6 points. I think they are 6 points, 4 points adrift from
Mhm.
Chelsea. It's still early in the league. Everybody played 11 games only.
Right.
But I think, Liverpool had not had a great, like last 5 games, they draw two, they lost one now, they won two. I don't think they're having the greatest run. But I think Liverpool, they showed that they will win games. And then coming at the end of the season, I think they will be there. I think they will challenge for the title for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want to be fooled by them being fourth now and only 2 points
Mhm.
above your beloved Arsenal. But I think Liverpool are fine. They had a day off in set pieces today. Two set pieces, they were just off. And on the counter, they got hit in the midfield and like they got overrun in the midfield in
Mhm.
that counter. by a couple of passes, and
Yeah.
it's not a good sign, but it doesn't happen every week to Liverpool.
Yeah, and I mean, I think some of it can be chalked up to, I think Liverpool wasn't having the best of performances in the middle of the field. Fabinho didn't have his best game. Thiago came on and was terrible, frankly. I mean, world class player, one of the best midfielders in the world.
I'm sorry, he's not. I'm sorry. I disagree with this statement.
Really, I think his time at Liverpool hasn't been great, but I think coming off of injury, it's tough to get back into it. I think he had a stinker of a game. I think they're missing Navi Keita. I didn't think Oxlade-Chamberlain had a really good game this game
He
either.
didn't.
So I think whenever your team is just worse on the day, it's tough, and a really good team like West Ham is going to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Thiago is a good player, but to play for Bayern Munich in Germany is different than playing in the Premier League. When you play for Bayern Munich in Germany, you are every single game, you are the best team on the field. It doesn't matter even if they lose 3 or 4, Bayern Munich, they're still the best team that dominate position, and they have the ball all the time, and nobody pressures them. It's just different. When you play in the Premier League, it's just different. And I think he's not as comfortable as he was in the Bayern Munich, like, set of play, the way they play, and that's a struggle for him. And this is why I don't want to be a cliche person, but not everybody can adapt to this league, and it's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy to adapt to the league.
For sure.
Top of the league, Chelsea. This game, again, the score does not reflect what actually happened on the game. Chelsea missed tons of chances on this game. Tons. Thomas Tuchel tried to start Barkley. He did not. He played good. Chelsea pressured the whole game. Reece James is an amazing fullback.
That assist, oh my God.
Like, I don't know what to say about this guy other than he has to be in the England squad. He has to start.
Yeah.
Don't tell me Kieran Trippier. Maybe Alexander-Arnold is the only one that can. But in a 3-5-2, he's your wing back. He's amazing there.
Yeah, so, we talk about putting a ball on a platter too. Like, that is the definition. I swear to God.
Yeah. So again, it's one of these games that we say that if you don't score, you might concede, and it just happened. One chance, and they just conceded. Why do you think Chelsea misses the strikers? They just scored 7 last game, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something to say that they're missing strikers, right? I think there's some truth to that. I think having out and out goal scorer can change the score on the day every time, right? That being said, this is what Burnley does. You know what I mean? And I think, is Burnley lucky? Maybe, but this is their game plan. You know what I mean? They're Air Force FC. They're going to get a set piece, and they might score. And it's annoying, and it's frustrating to play against, and it keeps them in the league every year.
It does. And I don't like it. As a fan, I just don't like it. It drives me crazy that they are still playing same football. The ball bounced back. They just put it inside the 18, hoping for the best, and it just works out. They just stay in the league. And hats off to Sean Dyche. He gets it done. And I'm still saying that I think this is the year where they get found out, and then if they do not strengthen their squad in January and Tarkowski gets sold, I think this is where they get down, in my opinion.
No, I think the Tarkowski loss would be devastating.
Would be devastating for them, absolutely. Yeah. But it's a great result for Burnley, to be honest. It's a great result for Burnley. It's not the end of the world for Chelsea, but it teaches them a lesson.
For sure, yeah.
You have to kill off games. Okay. Mm-hmm. The floor is yours. I have 2 questions about Arsenal.
Yeah.
Do you think that was an unsupporting behavior, not giving the ball back after Danny Rose kicked the ball out?
Dude, I think it was so far after the play. Then Watford gets possession again and loses it. Like, I think it's tough for me to say because the same thing happened in the Liverpool game. And, Liverpool plays on and goes on for the counter, right? And that's in a situation where Liverpool was losing. So I think it's just one of those things where in a hot moment like that on a counterattack, like that stuff's going to happen. You know what I mean? And I think it's unfair to expect a team to kick it out every single time. And we've seen time and time again, it doesn't happen. Is it unsportsmanlike? Maybe, but I expect most teams to do that, right? If you're on a counter, you're not going to give up your counter situation because there was some type of foul. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Danny Rose kicked it out because his player was injured. He did not just kick it out because... And actually, Alexander Lacazette told him at that play, I think he pointed that you were under pressure and you just were clearing the ball, something like this. And I'm not sure what's fair and what's not at this point because I don't think Arsenal players cared and they just kept playing. But again, the goal that Smith Rowe scored was really, really
he's making a habit
after that. Like it, but after the play, it was a Watford got position, they lost it, and Sarr. I don't think it was a foul. Maitland-Niles just got the ball and Sarr just bumped into him. I don't think it was a foul at all. But to be honest, the better team won, right? Like the better team won. It's as simple as that.
I think
Foster's save is amazing.
Oh yeah. I think his save on Gabriel was phenomenal. The save on the Aubameyang penalty is good. I do think Aubameyang tried his hardest not to score goals today and even stop some. Could have been a little bit better on the penalty from him. I think his touch for the Saka offsides goal is really poor. I mean, you see he's not trying to pass the ball there, he's trying to shoot. And then just basically disallowing the potential goal from Odegaard. But that stuff happens, and if we can still win games on days where a striker is not performing at the level that he's been performing at, we're in a good place. You know what I mean? I thought the play was good. I thought Lacazette just is so good for linking the play together. I thought Ainsley Maitland-Niles was phenomenal today. I was really impressed with him, given the fact that he's been kind of playing third fiddle to Lukonga and Partey. And I think he showed some class in the game and some real calmness on the ball that we didn't really see from Lukonga. And I think that's good because there's been an argument that Partey and Lukonga are kind of the same player with how they play. And it would be nice to have a little bit of variety, especially with someone as versatile as Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
But you wouldn't want a Nenny to be there.
El Nenny's good, and I think he's a good power sub to try to kill off a game just because his pressure and his positioning are really good. I just don't think his passing is great, and I think he's good for a turnover. And I think for us to be challenging for top 4, top 5, we can't have those types of mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think Watford did not have the best game, if I'm being honest. I didn't see too much coming. I did think that their trick play on the corner was really good, but Danny Rose has to do so much better there. I mean, it's on a platter for him.
What do you think about Kochka's second yellow card?
Thought it was kind of a soft yellow, if I'm being honest.
I don't think it was a yellow at all.
Yeah, I mean, I
think Kevin Friend. I think it looked like from the beginning of the game because Kochka was talking a lot, like talking a lot to Kevin Friend, asking for a lot of explanations and stuff like this. I think it was just a personal thing that he wanted Kochka to be out of the game, and that when he got the chance, he just gave him the second yellow. And I think it's unfair, to be honest. I think it's really unfair.
I mean, I think he kicks third pretty hard to where it's a foul. I think it's a super soft yellow card, but once again,
He didn't touch him, by the way. He kicked the ball. It looked like he was going for a tough tackle, but he didn't touch him. He kicked the ball really hard, but I don't think it was a second yellow. But hey, Arsenal 2 points behind Liverpool, and after the international break, you're playing Liverpool. It's a big game. I think this is Arsenal's biggest game in about 3 years or 4 years, to be honest with
No,
you.
it's huge.
It's a massive game. If you can
Huge.
get a result out of this game, it will change the fortune of
Mhm.
this club going forward, in my opinion, because it will keep them close. And I
Yeah.
think it's a must, not must win, but a good performance will give these players confidence.
Oh man, it just sets the tone of the entire rest of the season, right? Yeah.
I absolutely. Another game, Goodison Park, Everton Spurs. First game for Antonio Conte, who I think I'm I'm from the other side. I'm the Inter fan, and I saw Conte at
You kind of
Inter, and
like this manager, right?
I love him. Even though he's a Juventini, I love Antonio Conte. Okay, hear me out. I say that a lot on other podcasts for Inter and stuff like this. I say
Mhm.
he's a winner. He puts a winning mentality in
Yeah.
people's heads. And it's some managers, they come to your club and they just play tactics, stuff like this. Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, Antonio Conte.
Mhm.
I think these three managers in the world right now, they just Thomas Tuchel, they just win. They make the players think like I win. This is my game to win. I'm not there to perform and hoping for the best. And I think this is something that is in not in a lot of clubs. And this is why I like Antonio Conte. And I think Antonio Conte brings your club to a different level, even though he leaves it in a mess. He just brings it to a different level,
Mhm.
makes players better. And it hasn't worked yet for Spurs. It's only his second week or first week, actually. But I think he's gonna make Spurs better, in my opinion.
Mhm.
So this game had two things to talk about. To be honest, the game didn't have a lot of chances at all. It's just the penalty for Richarlison. I think it was the right call to revoke the penalty because Lloris touched the ball. What do you
Mhm.
think?
Yeah, I agree. I think it was the right decision.
It wasn't. And the whole game red card, it's kind of like it was very, very dangerous follow after the ball. And
Mhm.
I think it's a deserved red.
Yeah.
But other than this, the game, if you have anything else
No, I've
to
got
say
nothing
about
to.
this game,
It wasn't very eventful.
all year it was just, it's a very entertaining back and forth game, but without a lot of chances.
Yeah, the only thing that shocks me, and this is the only comment I have to make, is that every time there's a new manager at Tottenham, for whatever reason, they trust the junkyard dog, which is Jake Dyer. And we'll see if he can stays in the starting lineup, but I never get it. That's the only thing I have to say.
Yeah, it was kind of Tottenham had Tottenham had zero shots on target this game. This is something just to put
Mhm.
it out there. I think their XG, the expected goals, was zero point 0.7, and the expected goals for Everton was 0.6, and that's absolutely horrendous for these two teams with the
Mhm.
squads they have. They should definitely do better.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I think Everton are the bottom half of the table, which is
Yeah,
me
they
and
get
you talked about Everton
yeah.
about 3-4 weeks ago, and we said,
Mhm.
yeah, they have a very good squad. They can do it. They have not won a game in the last 5 games. They lost three, tied two, which is, I think it's an alarming thing for people that say Rafa Benitez is gonna. I said that. I thought he's gonna bring them to the next level, and he
Mhm.
hasn't.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think they're really missing Calvin Lewin right now.
Yeah, it shows you how a top striker will do for your
Yeah,
squad. To be
yeah, for
honest.
sure.
Hey, Leeds, Leicester.
Wow. Yeah, I think Leeds is so unfortunate not coming away with more from this game.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Tell
just a
me,
complete battery.
why is Brendan Rodgers playing a defensive game? He is not like most of his games. I see him trying to defend and play counter. And this is not something that we saw Leicester with Ranieri when they won the league back in the days in 2015, yes.
Yeah.
But the Brendan Rodgers we know last year used to have position, create a lot of chances, but I feel like they're playing on the counter most of their games, and it is kind of strange to me. Why do you think that is
I don't think they can
happening?
get possession right now is the problem. I mean, not to give any disrespect, I think Tielemans is phenomenal, and I think Ndidi is a great defensive midfielder as well. But I think a lot of it comes to the insurances that they have in the back, and their back line's just not gelling in the way that we thought it would. So when your possession builds out of there, it's hard to build anything with those types of players. Also, you got like Madison has been awful this entire season. I mean, he really has. So it's hard for them to really get anything going. And I mean, you saw there was efforts to make it a more possession-based team and strengthen that aspect of their game with the Vestergaard purchase. You know what I mean? One of the best possession-based center backs in the league last year. But it's not working and they're scrambling, and we see that from the results.
Yeah, I don't know why, but to be honest, I would like they have very two good attacking fullbacks. They have a very deep squad, to be honest. Sumari was really good today, and I think Ndidi coming back made a big difference. Tielemans, as you said, is a phenomenal player.
Yeah.
Iheanacho, Vardy, Barnes, Lookman. They have a very good squad. To be honest, I say I think they have a better squad than Man United at this moment.
Really?
Absolutely. Okay. Would you take Ndidi or Fred or McTominay?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about the two central pivot positions, yeah, absolutely.
Would you take Pereira or Wan-Bissaka? I would take Pereira any day. The only one in the defense, Johnny Evans, Sioncho. I know Harry Maguire is a big deal. People talk about him, but I think Johnny Evans, Sioncho, Vestergaard, they are great.
I don't think that I would take Sionchu over Harry Maguire or Varane or even a Lindelof.
But to be honest, this year he's not doing great. And it tells me it's something related to coaching, the system, something like this. But he was absolutely phenomenal last year, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think some of it comes down to your backline just not gelling, though. Like him and Vestergaard were supposed to be the partnership with Fofana being injured, and it hasn't worked, you know?
Yeah. But I think Leeds, they're very unlucky. But two great goals, though. The Rafinha's free kick was absolutely phenomenal. And then Harvey Barnes I missed this Harvey Barnes.
Dude.
I missed this guy. This guy was phenomenal last year. And he got injured before the Euros, and it was very unlucky for England.
Yeah, I love how like quick succession the two goals were. It was so crazy. But yeah, no, Harvey Barnes' goal was phenomenal. Rafinha's goal was also crazy. It was almost like, oh, you thought your goal was inch perfect. Let me show you what inch perfect is.
Yes, exactly. It's like Harvey Barnes like telling Rafinha, you think you have a good goal? Here's a better one.
Yeah, right. Oh, man.
But to be honest, you kind of have to like Leicester City are 12th on this. Leeds. No, still, I think Leeds are going to be fine, but they're 15th. But I think it's Leicester are drifting away from the top four, which is not great. Crystal Palace, I think the most impressive to me, Crystal Palace are the most impressive team in the last 3-4 weeks.
Agreed. Yeah,
2-0 against Wolves, dominant the whole game.
So
brilliant first half. Maybe not a lot of chances, but Crystal Palace dominated. I think Crystal Palace were absolutely great the whole game. 90 minutes, Patrick Vieira showed us what he actually can do.
Yeah.
Wolves did not have a kick in this game.
Yeah.
So
imagine how good they'll look when Eze's back too.
Yeah, full fit. Yes, he's coming off the bench, but imagine when he's fully fit. Oh my God, this team is so fun to watch.
So scary, yeah.
Zaha, the goal he scored. Oh my God, the finish was brilliant.
And Shadow MacArthur for sublime from the attacking position to slot that in. Crazy.
And the guy that never stops running scores again. Conor
Mhm.
Gallagher.
Oh
He
my
never
goodness,
stopped running.
dude! I would be so curious to see how many miles he clocks a game.
Yeah, it's kind of strange that this guy is brilliant. I'm sure he's gonna pick up his England like debut soon. He's
Mhm.
absolutely great, and I'm not sure he can
Is he on loan
go.
right now?
He's on loan from Chelsea, and I'm not sure he's gonna. I don't think at this point he's gonna fit at Chelsea with that many stars at Chelsea. But I think he's gonna pick up
Yeah.
his England's debut soon. But
Mhm.
hey, Crystal Palace climbing the table. They are the top half of the table right now. They are 5 points behind Arsenal in the fifth position. So they are 2 points behind European positions at 17, as Brighton at 7. This is the European places. So, hey, Crystal Palace are not as bad as we thought they would be.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean their defensive line has looked so much better, and it just shows how much experience you get from the first part of the season, right? Like
Yeah.
we saw, like a lot of their goals are just cheap giveaways and mistakes, and we see that they've clearly have been getting that drilled out of them, and that their forward players just get to be more creative. It's a scary sight to see, man. Patrick Vieira has them absolutely clicking.
Yeah, I think Patrick Vieira is doing a great job at that club. Another team that I thought that they would be better. Okay, their pick up points. They should have. Okay, on paper, I thought they would have won this game against Newcastle. However, that tackle from Sanchez, I'm not sure. Callum Wilson. So let me explain it. Callum Wilson goes 1-on-1 with
Mhm.
Sanchez. He dribbles Sanchez. Sanchez trips him. The referee crew, they didn't see it. The game goes on. Callum Wilson was supposed to just tap in the ball to the net. Newcastle gets their first win, but hold on. He trips, he falls. Okay, why did he fall? Nobody knew until they stopped the game. It goes to VAR. I thought in the first thing I saw was like, I'm sure that Sanchez, the Brighton's goalkeeper, tripped him, right? Because otherwise he would have just
Yeah,
rolled the ball into the net. And then they're like, oh, we go back. He's a red card. So Sanchez saved the point for Brighton.
yeah,
It was so much fun to see Dunk at the goalkeeper
yeah.
with that set piece at the end of
Him
the game.
struggling to get the gloves on.
Yes, it was so fun to watch this. So it was a fun game to watch, to be honest. But I thought Newcastle, they did not deserve the points,
Right.
but based on that last chance, they could have gotten. This is the only team that hasn't won because
I think
Norwich won.
I gotta say, I think that is the best goalkeeper red card I've ever seen. Like tactically, that is the best goalkeeper red card I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Because they lose. They just lose if he doesn't do that.
absolutely. There is no other way around it. But
And John Joe Shelby does what John Joe Shelby does, and he could take a free kick, shot on goal against a dude who does not play goalkeeper. And what does he do? He kicks it horizontally,
yeah,
completely away from the goal.
John Shelby, yes. I like the guy, but he does
Oh,
some
great
terrible things.
distribution normally and something like that, but his decision making sometimes make you shake your head, man. Like what?
So, do you think Eddie Howe can save this team from relegation?
Ah, he's done it before. He's got a track record of it. He
But
makes
he
worse
got
teams
relegated
better.
with Bournemouth 2 seasons
Yeah,
ago.
he did, but I mean, he kept them up for how long? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's used to the relegation scrap. I think it's a good appointment, and for if anything, in the case that he's willing to take the job. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean?
It's tough job. It's a tough job.
Yeah, he's willing to take the job. He's familiar with this situation, and he does tend to make worse teams better.
Yeah.
So
Um,
I think it's a good appointment.
I like
I
Eddie Howe. He's a
yeah.
calm guy. I like his style of play.
Mhm.
I liked to watch Bournemouth play, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not I don't want to keep saying this. They were not Burnley. They were
Yeah, that's the stamp of approval we got to have on this show. This
they,
team, not Burnley.
This is not a Burnley style. This is not a Burnley style.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
This is it's a new step.
There we go. That'll be the
Southampton.
rating system.
I'm really happy for one of them, man. I'm really happy for Hassan Hotel.
Yeah.
I love his football, man. I love his football.
Mhm.
I think this guy deserves more credit than this. But also, I think this guy deserves a better team. It's
Yeah,
just
I agree. I agree. That was
right. Like
exactly
I
where I
think
was
he
going.
deserves a better team. They did not create a lot of chances this game. They
Mhm.
won 1-0 against Aston Villa, who fired Dean Smith this morning. I'm not sure who they're gonna hire. They say there is Steven Gerrard on to get the job. This is the rumor. But I think Aston Villa, Dean Smith has done a lot to this team, and you said that in the beginning of the show. So, do you think it's fair to fire somebody because he had some bad strings of results?
I'm a Arteta in guy, so clearly I don't think so. I think like how much this man has done for the club and the positive changes that he has led in personnel changes with the loss of Jack Grealish. Like it's gonna take time to figure out how to play without Jack Grealish. You know what I mean? Regardless of who you appoint as manager. And with how great Aston Villa were last year, he's a manager who can figure that out again. And he's made great appointments. You know, Buendia is such a good pickup, you know? And so it's going to take time for these players to start clicking together and for y'all to figure out how to play without Jack Grealish. So the solution isn't firing this legend for your club who's done so well to help y'all stay up and get better every season. You know, it's to grow. So to me, it's kind of an outrage. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they should have stuck with him because
Yeah.
who are they gonna hire that is better than him to lead the same players he led last year for a good season from their point of view? I don't see anybody else. Are they missing my fellow Egyptian Trezeguet? I'm Egyptian and maybe so, but I don't think
I don't think it could be anything else. I think that's it.
because there's no why you're playing bad with the same squad without Jack Grealish, but you brought in a couple of other players, Danny Ings and
Yeah.
Buendia, and so I don't know. But to be honest, I would have stuck with him for a little bit, maybe wait until the Christmas time and see where they are at that time. But
Yeah.
I think it was a rash decision to fire him. But I'm happy for the other guy, Hassan Hotel, because I think they play a very entertaining football. To be honest, from
Mhm.
outside the top six, I think if you call West Ham a top six and you take Tottenham out, I think Southampton play a very good position. If he has a better squad, he would have done so much better.
Yeah, I agree.
To be honest, I'm really happy for him. The last game of the week, I've seen Brentford pick their fourth consecutive loss. Believe it or not, me and you
Mhm.
5 weeks ago were talking about Brentford is safe already and they're playing great, but fourth loss of the season, fourth loss in a row, and Norwich picking their
Mhm.
first win of the season.
Mhm.
But the management decide, Daniel Farka, you broke the record that we wanted. You won a game. We're just gonna fire you. We wanted the record for the season without a win because we know that we're gonna get relegated anyway. But we wanted to have a record. So, jokes aside, firing Daniel Farka was actually, in my opinion, the right decision. The team was not performing very well. Maybe this game was good, but
Mhm.
I think it was the fact that they know that they are the better team than Brentford based on last season's result.
Yeah.
The players went knowing that we won the league last year, so this team should not be better than us. We should beat them.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, Norwich dominated the championship last year, right? So it kind of makes sense that they beat Brentford. And honestly, great goals. I mean, it was good run by Pookie to get the penalty.
Oh yeah,
So it's like fair enough for Norwich. I think they played well. I think they deserve to win this game. But I do agree with you. I think if you're going to fire Daniel Farke, this was not the game to do it. But I think firing him now after it's been a horrible run of form makes sense. But I think they're kind of dealing with the same problem as Aston Villa, where they sold Buendia, and how instrumental he was in the creative part of their game isn't something that you can just directly replace, right? And we've seen that. And we've seen that the personnel changes haven't been able to do it, right? So it's, to me, that's tough. And they're also missing Skip. Everyone forgets Skip was playing with them last season in the championship, and he was phenomenal. He's starting for Tottenham right now, right?
Yeah.
So like these are key losses that they haven't really been able to replace. And I think firing your manager doesn't necessarily fix that. But that being said, if Farke couldn't figure out how to play around having those players, and it's not like they've just been losing and they've been close games and stuff like that, and they've played well. Like they've been getting creamed. You know what I mean? Like they've been getting absolutely destroyed. So firing him makes sense. I'm just torn on those two aspects. I don't know. What do you think? I know you think that it's worth firing here, but like, do you think that maybe it's because the personnel change, or like, what do you think the problem is?
I actually don't know what the problem is with Norwich, to be honest, because you can't just play that good in Championship and then come to the Premier League and be like that bad. It didn't make any sense to me. Like, what is wrong with these players? Are they not good enough? So why Brentford are good enough? Why Watford they are not that bad? Why Norwich are the worst team in the league by far?
Yeah,
I think they were worse than Newcastle. But they fired Daniel Farke. Let's see who's gonna come in and who's gonna. I think can they skip relegation? Can they like escape relegation?
Can they skip relegation without Skip?
Can they? I like that.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't think so, man. I think this team goes down. I think it's a personnel problem that I think their philosophy isn't bad. And in a league where you don't have players who are way worse than every other player you're playing against, like their philosophy is good enough to where it can carry them, right? Like Pookie scored 30-something goals. Buendia had 20-something assists. You know what I mean? But you come to the league and you're telling me you're just trying to be a budget Man City? Good luck. You know? Like you're not you can't do it. You're not going to out-possession them. So yeah, I mean, they get relegated for sure. Unless
How about
they have
Brentford? How about Brentford?
I think Brentford can stay safe, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as we all thought it was.
I think so too. Hey, yeah. International break, 2 weeks off. We have time. Next week, we're gonna have an episode about, maybe we'll talk about every team and we'll see where they are and who we think that can win the league, who has the better chances of winning the league. We'll talk about statistics, but the games to look for after we come to the break are absolutely phenomenal. We have Leicester, Chelsea.
Ooh.
And I want you to think who's favorite for this game.
It's Leicester, right?
What would I know, right? So we have another big game. It's City, Everton. But that's in City. I think City dominates this game and finishes it really early. So Liverpool, Arsenal. I think Liverpool are favorites.
I would agree with you, yeah.
So, because it's a home game. But I think Arsenal can hackle them. I think Arsenal can give them a good game.
Yeah.
Because I think Arsenal now are stable the way they play. They are consistent. Their defense is intact.
Yeah.
And it shows that in the last 3-4 games how intact the defense is and how effective Emil Smith-Rowe and how effective Saka is and how effective playing Lacazette alongside Aubameyang is. And it's just how Arteta feels that this team should play, and it's playing the football that he wants them to play. So what do you think?
To me, I think the biggest thing that gives us the biggest chance against Liverpool is Aaron Ramsdale. I think what he adds is an avenue for us to not have to build out of the back every single time we get the ball, and that we can skip a line and find Lacazette in a pocket. And to me, this fundamentally changes how this match is, and it gives Arsenal opportunities for breaking the high press from Liverpool and causing problems. Because we saw with West Ham, right? Like, if you break Liverpool's press, you can cause problems.
Couple of passes, you string couple of. It's Liverpool and Man City. You do couple of passes to bypass the press, and if you have good enough quality, which is Arsenal has, West Ham has, I think teams like, especially teams like Tottenham, Arsenal. I'm just naming the teams that I think they have the quality. West Ham, they have the quality to make something happen when they bypass that press with a couple of good passes. You can score goals and you can create chances. So I'm going to ask you one last thing. Do you think any other manager will be sacked this season from the league?
Oh, man, the way things are going, I'd be surprised if all of them don't get sacked.
So
jokes aside, I think there's one or two more sackings probably.
Whom? So we have, at the moment, from the 16th to the 20th, they all got sacked. Aston Villa, Watford, Burnley, Newcastle, Norwich. Who else?
Ollie gets sacked, and then the new Watford manager gets sacked. Because that's just
so Ranieri gets sacked.
That's what Watford does, yeah.
And Solskjaer gets sacked.
Yeah, I don't. Regardless of if Ranieri deserves it or not, he's gonna lose too many games and he's gonna get sacked because Watford love that.
They just love to do that, right?
The 6-month turnover time, yeah.
It's sometimes, but to be honest, Chelsea. So Man United, they have Watford away, Villarreal away, Chelsea away, Arsenal home. I think they lose 2 of these games. He gets sacked.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope the game that causes him to get sacked is the Arsenal game.
What do you think?
I hope he lives long enough so that we can play with those tactics.
You're muted. Yeah.
Oh, am I muted?
So,
can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. Okay. So here it is. It's an interesting episode because of Liverpool first loss of the season, Chelsea losing points.
Love to see it.
All the sacking that happened in the last 2 days is just crazy. And I want to thank my friend Kaeman. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you having me on here. I think it's weird that we started, podcasting about American football with how many sackings have been taking place. But it's always nice to get on here and talk to you, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you so much for coming. And make sure you guys like and subscribe. And we hope to see you next week.
Remember, do not be Burnley.
Do not be Burnley. See you guys. Thank you so much.